The cruelest wounds are not carved by strangers. They come from the hands we once trusted to hold us. The deepest cuts are not made by enemies. They are made by the people we swore would never hurt us. The people we love the most are the ones who will hurt us the deepest.
Think about it. If a stranger insults you, you might shrug it off. If a colleague betrays you, you'll eventually move on. But when the wound comes from someone you love, a parent, a partner, a sibling, a friend, it doesn't just bruise your skin. It pierces your soul, because love creates expectation, and expectation creates vulnerability, and vulnerability is the price of intimacy. We tell ourselves that love should protect us, but what if love is also the very thing that leaves us exposed? What if the greatest beauty of love, its closeness, its tenderness, is the very reason why it has the power to shatter us completely? This is the paradox of being human. The people who can heal us are also the people who can destroy us.
We want love without pain, but that is impossible. The very act of loving someone is to grant them the power to hurt us. The philosopher Khalil Gibran once wrote, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you." What he meant is this: love cannot exist without the possibility of hurt. If there is no risk, there is no intimacy. If there is no vulnerability, there is no love.
Psychology tells us that our closest relationships shape the very structure of our brain. As children, our parents' approval or disapproval forms the foundation of our self-worth. As adults, our partner's love or rejection becomes the mirror we see ourselves in. And when those mirrors reflect back pain, betrayal, or indifference, it does not just feel like we've lost them. It feels like we've lost a part of ourselves. The deepest hurt is not about what they did to us. It is about what their actions make us question about ourselves. Am I not enough? Was my love not worthy? Did they ever really care? And those questions linger, sometimes for years, sometimes for a lifetime.
What's more tragic is that hurt in love is often not intentional. Sometimes it is, but often the people we love do not even realize how deeply they have wounded us. They act out of fear, they act out of ignorance, they act out of their own pain because hurt people. And the closer someone is to us, the more their pain spills into our lives. We imagine that love should shield us from cruelty, but sometimes love only makes cruelty hit closer to home. Here is the raw truth. The people you love the most will hurt you the deepest, not because love is broken, but because love is real. You cannot open your heart to another human being without exposing yourself to the possibility of being wounded. You cannot share your soul without giving someone the ability to pierce it. This is the cost of intimacy. This is the price of love. But here is what we often forget. The very people who can hurt us the most are also the people who can bring us the most joy. The hands that wound us can also be the hands that heal us. The words that cut us down can also be the words that lift us higher than we ever imagined. Love is both the poison and the cure. It is both the knife and the bandage. It is both the reason we break and the reason we heal.
So, what do we do with this paradox? Do we close ourselves off to love? Do we build walls so high that no one can ever reach us? Do we numb ourselves so deeply that no one can ever hurt us again? We could, but then we would also be cutting ourselves off from the very experiences that make life worth living. Because if love is the source of our greatest pain, it is also the source of our greatest meaning. The lesson is not to avoid love. The lesson is to love with open eyes, to understand that pain is not a failure of love, but a consequence of its depth. To love is to accept the risk. To love is to embrace the vulnerability. To love is to know that heartbreak is not a sign that you were wrong to care, but a reminder that you were brave enough to feel. The truth is, we will all be hurt by the people we love, and we will all hurt the people who love us, because we are imperfect creatures trying to love in an imperfect world. But if we can forgive, if we can understand, if we can choose to continue loving despite the wounds, then love, in its brokenness, still remains the most beautiful thing we will ever experience.
If this spoke to you, if you've felt the sting of being hurt by someone you loved deeply, know this: you are not alone. Pain is the shadow of love, and to feel it is to be alive. So tell me, what was the deepest lesson you learned from the hurt of someone you loved? Share it in the comments, because your story might just be the bandage for someone else's wound. And if this message resonated, don't forget to subscribe to A Beautiful Ache, where we explore the truths we often try to hide and turn pain into wisdom. Because in the end, our scars are not just reminders of where we've been hurt. They are proof that we survived.